Hello Gemini, thank you for joining me. This is your April forecast 2017 for Gemini Rising, Gemini Sun Sign and Gemini Moon. I'm going to be talking just generally at the beginning of this video about what's going on because we've got 4 planets retrograde this month and then going on to do dates after that. So we've got Venus still retrograde, and Venus starts off in Aries, or continues in Aries rather. So this is where you're thinking about your friendship groups and the associations, you know, that you have, and your hopes and dreams, those kinds of things. And what do you value? Are your dreams still the same? Do you still want the same things that you used to want? Are you still feeling the same way that you used to feel about your friends? So it's reassessing these kinds of things. It then moves into Pisces on the 3rd of the month. And Pisces is your 10th house. And so this is looking at, you know, do I enjoy what I do in the world? Is it really what I want to do? Does it fulfill me on an emotional level? Do I feel I'm being paid enough? Because Venus is to do with our money as well. You know, do I feel I'm being valued? Is this a value to me? So that's what's going to start to go on there. We're going to be reassessing this area of your life. And then, you know, Venus will go direct. So this is a chance to just get clear on what your hopes and dreams are, whether the people who you surround yourself with are supportive to who you are as a person, where you want to go in life, and whether that career and what you do in the world is something that truly gives you some sense of fulfillment. And it could be the opposite, you know, are you being appreciated enough at work? Do you feel you're getting the rewards or the pay that you desire? So that it'll be a time to look at this, because as I'm saying for everybody, you know, this is really a month of spring cleaning, so that we get to the truth of the matter, the truth of who we are. We're being asked to clear blocks, to look at things that maybe we haven't looked at, so that we can move forward feeling far more empowered and with a sense of truth and purpose. And it's only when we know who we are and what we truly want that we can go about leading a fulfilling life that supports us on a soul level. So this is kind of what's going on this month. So it's movement forward. It is movement forward, but maybe not in the way that we're used to. It's movement in order to move forward. That's the way that I see it. So Saturn is going retrograde on the 5th of April, and this is in Sagittarius in your 7th house. So matters to do with your one-on-one relationships. In fact, relationships and groups you belong to are quite a theme at the moment. So matters to do with your one-on-one relationships are going to be brought to the forefront, and there might be issues of boundaries. You know, do you have clear boundaries in your one-on-one relationships? Do you have a realistic idea of where you're both going in life if you've got a partner? You know, do you have a realistic idea of who each other are? Do you know what each other's wants and needs are? Is your relationship grounded in reality? You're being asked to look at this because Saturn wants to crystallize, and it wants to ground. It wants to make sure what we're doing is honest and true and can stand the test of time. So this might be a period where you're looking at your one-on-one relationships and thinking, is this who I really want to be with? And is this relationship really going to work? How can we change things in order to make this more harmonious for the both of us? If you don't have a partner, then it's a time when you're thinking and looking more seriously about what kind of person you truly want, not just who would be nice to have in your life, but on a more realistic level. You know, what life partner would you want? What qualities would they need to have? What would you need to bring to the table? What would truly serve you? What have you been doing in one-on-one partnerships that's maybe led to the results that you've had? So it's going to be looking at those kinds of things. Mercury is going retrograde this month as well, and that's in Taurus. And Taurus is your 12th house. So there's also activity going on in your 12th house. It's mainly, we're looking at your 11th, 12th, slightly your 10th, your 7th and your 5th this month. But your 11th, 12th and 7th are quite activated this month. So, what was I talking about? Mercury. Mercury is going retrograde And it starts off retrograde in your 12th house of Taurus on the 9th of April. It continues till May the 3rd. And it goes from your 12th house into your 11th. And then it'll come back into your 12th house again. So here you're looking more inwards. The mind, when Mercury goes retrograde, we use our right mind, well, the right side of our brain more so than the left side. Because the left side is there. The masculine brain, it's the outward focused brain, it's the action oriented brain. The right side of the brain is the more feminine, more receptive, intuitive, more kind of that works in accordance with natural law. So you're going to be probably, your thoughts will naturally be going to your inner world and what's good for you. Have you been having time to yourself? Have you had time to incorporate the lessons of the past? Are you getting enough space to be and to receive flashes of intuition and to rest and to recharge and to re-energize? So it'll be asking you this, and then it will go into your 11th house of Aries, where it's going to be looking at the groups you belong to, the friendship groups you have, any causes you belong to, and your hopes, your wishes, you know. So you'll be then looking at, okay, well, how do these fit with who I am? Are these serving me? You know, there'll be time to reassess these things. So that's what's going to be happening with Mercury. Pluto is going to be going retrograde towards the end of the month, and that's on April 20th in Capricorn, in your 8th house. So there's deep, deep transformation happening here on the most intimate level of your being. And something is asking you to change course. Something's asking you to shift. And Capricorn is an earth sign, so it's very grounded, it's very career driven, it's very practical, it wants to bring things into a practical nature. There's something you're being asked to look at though on a deep, inner, intimate level that will enable you to transform something in your outer life. You're being asked to reclaim some sort of power. You're being asked to look at where you've given power away. Issues to do with money, sex, inheritances, power plays, deep psychology, you know. Anything shared resources. If you share custody of your children, what's been going on here? How have you been using your power? Have you been trying to control these situations in ways that don't serve you or serve other? Are you showing up as who you truly are? Do you feel empowered in these areas? There's going to be some shift there's going to be some shift required, and it will have practical implications. The results will be of a practical nature. Although the beginning of this and the seed of it might be very psychological and deeply emotional and maybe quite unseen, it will cause practical shifts once you come through it. So, as I said, you know, we are going through this period of spring cleaning. I see it as great movement forward, although not very many people see it as forward movement, because it is more inward when we've got all these retrograde planets and we're being asked to reassess. But we cannot move forward constantly all the time, and if we do so, we just end up running blind, really. So it is movement forward, but it's movement forward in a deep way, so that then when the planets start to go direct again, we can really come back more powerfully and more strong. So on the 3rd, we've got Venus retrograde entering Pisces. So she's going from your 11th house of friendships, groups, causes and hopes and wishes, and then she's going into your 10th house. So you might be looking at, how do I feel about my career? How do I feel, like I said to you, how do I feel about what I do in the world? Am I being valued in what I do? Do I value what I do? So this will be coming up, and this will last for a little while until Venus then re-enters Aries when she starts going direct again. So you're being asked to have a look at this and see how fulfilled you feel. If you're financially being supported in your career, is what you're giving to the world giving you good returns? On the 5th, we've got Saturn going retrograde in Sagittarius, which I did mention to you about. So this is about your relationships, your one-on-one, even your business partnerships. You know, what can you do to make these work more efficiently? Boundaries and seeing things clearly, building for the future, how to build this business with this partner who you're working with, if this is the case, to make it something successful and long lasting. Is there anything that you've missed? Is there anything you've missed in your close one-on-one relationships? This is to be looked at over this period. On the 6th of April, we have Mars in Taurus trining Pluto in Capricorn. So Mars is in your 12th house, so your energy has been a bit lower. And you, with Mercury there as well, the thoughts are more inward based. You're needing time to yourself. But it's trining Pluto in your 8th house. And this is where we're talking about, this is where the transformation is going to start happening later in the month. So with Pluto here, you might be getting, on this particular day, there might be a real chance for some inner, I'm looking at what else is going on here. There might be a real chance for some inner regeneration, because with Mars in your 12th house, this is behind the scenes, this is the quiet space that we need to regenerate, to recharge before we go into our first house and we go hello to the world type thing, you know? So with Mars trining Pluto in your 8th house, these are both very deep, very personal, very private and intimate houses. And I feel like Pluto is giving you a chance to regenerate here. So this would be a really good day. I would really recommend strongly for you, Gemini, if you can have the 6th off and to yourself. This could be a really good day to recharge. You might get there might be some real, a bit of a transformative spark, a bit of a healing power that happens this day, because, you know, Mars in Taurus does give a lot of us, you know, a lot of focus and energy, but because it's in your 12th house, I feel the focus is very much inward. So there's a real feeling of regeneration. So if you can take quiet time to yourself on this day, I think that would be really, really valuable. On the 7th, we've got the Sun in your 12th house of Aries, and that's opposing Jupiter. And that's in Libra. Oh, sorry, we've got the Sun in your 12th house, in your 11th house of Aries. And that is opposing Jupiter in Libra. So this could be a day where you're feeling quite creatively inspired. You might want to collaborate with somebody. You might feel very supported by your friends and feeling quite optimistic and wanting to get out there and just enjoy your friends and the groups that you belong to. Quite a nice day for having fun with them, doing something creative, bringing creativity into your circle, you know, and enjoying that. And that is on the 7th. So on the 8th, we've got Venus in Pisces, which is squaring Saturn in Sagittarius. So Venus there in your 10th house of career. And then Saturn in your 7th house. If you have got a business partnership, if you are in partnership with somebody in business or working close with somebody in business, there could be a bit of tension here between what you feel you deserve, or the recognition you feel you deserve, the praise that you feel you deserve, and what's actually coming. It could be a bit of you might feel as if you're coming up against some sort of hard lines and walls. And this might be coming from somebody else. In relationship, it could be the same thing as well. It could be that what you want to do, what you feel you want to do in the world, there could be some clash between that and your relationship. So just be mindful of that. And on the, sorry, I'm getting lost because there's so many aspects. Here we are. Right. So on the 8th, Mercury turns retrograde in Taurus, so I've spoken about that. This is you looking at time for yourself. I think this is a fantastic time because it's in Taurus. It's a great time to take advantage of nature, because Taurus is all about our senses, the 5 senses. So take time in nature, take a bubble bath, treat your senses. That will not only physically give you that feeling of kind of taking time out and healing and introspection, but it relaxes the mind too. It lets the spirit know that you love it and that you're putting its needs first. On the 11th, we've got a full moon in Libra in your 5th house, and this is conjuncting Jupiter. This should be a really beautiful full moon for you. you should be feeling very creative, really feeling like having fun. There could be an inspiration to make something that you love into a possible kind of money-making scheme. You could have some luck with that. You might be thinking, how can I expand the things that I love doing? How can I make them profitable for me, you know? So there's a chance for that. You might be really enjoying your children on this day. You might be feeling like a bit of a big kid yourself. So it's really lovely energy at that full moon. On the 14th, we've got Sun conjuncting Uranus, and that's in your 11th house. And this speaks of freedom, and you might find yourself feeling like expressing the more eccentric side of yourself. Your friends might bring that out in you. You might be wanting to associate or find out about groups of people or causes that are maybe slightly different to things that you've followed in the past. You know, you might be thinking outside of the box in terms of who you associate with, how you do things in that area. On the 15th, Venus turns direct finally. So Venus turns direct in that 10th house. So you should be starting to feel clearer about what it is you desire from your work and from your career. There should have been a bit of clarification around what will fulfill you. And so we start to move forward now, and hopefully a few things have been healed in this area. On the 19th, we have the Sun entering Taurus. So the Sun's going into your 12th house. So where there was a lot of focus on your 11th house, on the house of friendships and associations, and you've been quite busy in that way, you might be feeling like a bit zapped of energy. You might be feeling like you just need some downtime to get away from it all. So this is a time to just, once again, go inwards. Think about what you can do to regenerate, because soon the Sun will be coming into your sign and it'll be time to get out there and face the world. But with the Sun going into your 12th house, you know, the energy gets a bit less. It gets, especially with Mars, because Mars is still in your 12th house at this point. So you're going to be kind of going like this. You really are. And there's nothing wrong with that. Take that time for yourself, because I feel like you've been quite busy. You've been thinking about what you do in the world, about groups. You've been very busy communicating with people. You've been thinking about your career. There's been a lot of action in terms of what groups you belong to, with social media and networking. And now it's kind of like, time to chill a bit. So this is on, where are we talking? This is on the 19th. So then we go to the 20th, where Pluto goes retrograde in Capricorn. So this was that regeneration energy I was telling you about. This is about where you're giving your power away. This is about issues of intimacy. Something here needs to be transformed so you can come up stronger. So I spoke about that at the beginning of the video. And also on the 20th, actually, we've got the Sun conjuncting Mercury in your 11th house. So there's still a bit of communication going on. Communicating with people, communicating with groups, with friends, with associations. And there could be, just be aware of perhaps being a bit feisty on this day. Watch what you say. Make sure you don't get involved in ego battles or struggles or anything like that. But you certainly could be feeling very communicative with the world, and then that's fine, you know. Yes, just be mindful. Just be mindful. This is there's a possibility that, you know, it could be a bit combustible on this day. On the 21st, we've got Mars entering your sign. So finally, where we had Mars and the Sun in your 12th house for a while, so you probably would have had a few days where you just didn't feel like being out and about, where maybe you didn't really want to have to communicate with other people and take care of things, but you've had to. But now Mars is going into your sign, so you're starting to feel stronger, you're starting to feel more invigorated, your strength's coming back. Your drive is to be out there, to be seen more. But still, Mercury is retrograde. So this is saying, okay, yes, we can move forward, but we really need to think things through, because Mercury is still retrograde. You know, it's about just think things through, make sure that you've crossed all your T's and dotted your I's before you take action. It's okay to take action as long as you're being very aware. So that's what you're being asked to do as far as that's concerned. Excuse me. Then, where are we? On the 24th, we have Mercury in your 11th house, and that's trining Saturn in that 7th house. So, where there could have been a bit of tension between you and other, now maybe there's some clarity. There is an idea for how you can move forward in terms of your higher visions. There is some clarity coming as to how you can move forward in relationship and in your networking and wishes and hopes, you know, and goals. You're getting a bit of clarity here. The thinking is a bit clearer. You're starting to see, okay, what works for me and what works for the other, and you're getting ideas as to how to implement win-win situations on this day. On the 26th, we've got a new moon in your 12th house. So this is nice because there's a feeling of almost being refreshed, I feel. And it's actually sextile Neptune in Pisces in your 10th house. So there's almost like a feeling of feeling slightly refreshed. Maybe all that work you've been doing on the inside, that quiet time you've been taking to yourself, is now kind of paying off. This is a great time to get things organized at this, you know, at this new moon. Try and clear some things up, especially in relation to your work. You know, anything that might be making things feel a bit foggy or cluttered or hazy, try and clear them up. Do your filing, I mean, do some mental clearing, do some emotional housekeeping, whatever it is you need to do. But this is really nice for a nice fresh start in a behind the scenes way. So whatever you can clear out, like I said, this is a month of spring cleaning. And then on the 28th, we've got Venus re-entering Aries. So she's going back into that 11th house of yours. So I feel like you're starting to feel the love a bit more now for your friends, for your groups and associations, and for networking. There's been a bit of a push-pull energy. There's a bit of a going within and thinking, oh, do I want this? Is this right for me? And maybe being a bit distant. And at the same time, kind of going without. So with Venus moving forward now, you feel a bit more like you know what you want. You know what you want in terms of career. You know what it is you value. You know what it is, you feel better about what it is you value in terms of your friendship groups and the networks and groups you belong to. And you might be starting to feel the love a little bit more. So that is your month. That is your month of April. There's a lot going on, and like I said, it really is a time for spring cleaning and clearing the decks so that we can move forward powerfully, getting to our truths. You know, where we've been giving power away, where we've been being unrealistic and not seeing the truth of the matter, what we truly want. We're all being asked to do this on some level, so you're not alone, Gemini. Thank you very much for watching, and if you'd like a continuation of this reading, I'm actually doing a continued edition with tarot, and this is just for further insight, and it's available on Vimeo videos. If you click the link below, I'm doing readings for each sign, and they're £2 per video. Thank you very much for watching, Gemini. I hope you have a really good month and the power is within you. Take care. Bye-bye.